Hello, my name is Tanis. I'm a crafter who lives down near the south coast of the UK, quite near Portsmouth, if you know that way. I knit, crochet, embroider, I sew, all kinds of things, and I've got my own Etsy shop where I sell 1940s style hairnets, snoods, we call them snoods. And I know some people think a snood is the cowl that you wear on your neck. It's not. So, I have changed. You may have noticed I've changed the name of my Etsy, not my Etsy shop. My Etsy shop's called Jim Poodle. This has not changed. I've changed the name of my podcast from TanisMakesStuff. My name's Tanis, I Make Stuff. To Knitting Not Screaming. And I've done that because I think it's a more accurate reflection of why I make things. I've got a perfectly nice job. I work in an admin role in the NHS, which is nice, but what I really like to do is to make things. So when you've had a stressful day at work, or you feel, things haven't perhaps gone so well, you come home, you pick up something creative, and you feel a whole lot better. So yeah, better, I think, to pick up my knitting needles and say to people what I really think. I'm sure you agree. I don't have a lot of finished objects from 1 month to, it's roughly once a month I record. I don't have a lot of finished objects because I don't have a lot of time to do things. I mean, I'm always making things for my Etsy shop, so you're not going to want to see lots of that. It's lots of the same thing, really. And the things that I knit and that sort of thing just fit in here and there. But I do have one finished object that I'm really happy with. I went to Unravel last weekend on Friday the 24th. Unravel, if you don't know, is the yarn festival held at the Maltings in Farnham, which is in Surrey, which isn't a million miles away from Hampshire where I live. It's lovely. It's my favourite yarn festival. In fact, since we moved down here, I think it's probably the only one that I'm going to be going to from now on. I really love it. I went on Friday because I thought it'd be a bit quieter, and it was super busy. It was so busy that it actually wasn't that enjoyable for the first hour or so that I was there. I just kind of like circled around trying to get near stalls. You couldn't actually get into a stall without kind of queuing to see stuff at first, so I wasn't massively keen on that bit. But then around lunchtime it did really calm down, and you could let yourself go then. I had wanted to wear either my hardware jumper, which I've been knitting since the dawn of time, but I didn't finish that, so I thought the best thing to do would be to finish my tiny Tassels shawl, which is a free pattern which you can download from Loop London, and there's also a version of it. The designer, Karin, can't remember her surname, Karin, I'll pop it in the notes. She designed it for Loop, and I think she's worked with them. But she has her own shop in Pimlico. If you're around that way, it's such a lovely shop, called Beautiful Knitters, and she has a version of the Tiny Tassels shawl, which I can't remember what hers is called, but she's the same designer. It's a very similar design on her website, which I think is also a free download. So I wanted to get this done because the two yarns I've knit this shawl with, I bought at Unravel probably 2 years ago. So here it is. This lovely mint green, oh, it's so lovely, is dyed by, oh look, you can just see where I did a bad yarn over. Anyway, does it matter? Doesn't really matter, does it? No one's really going to notice that. This lovely mint green is from Fruitful Fusion, and I bought it from her, I think it was the shawlography year of the West Knits make along, so that was the year before last, wasn't it? Yeah, I bought it from her as part of a kit to make that shawl, and I mainly bought it because I really liked this colour. But then when I started scaling up the yarn to make the shawl and started on the shawl, I thought, I didn't really like the way the colours were working together for that shawl, but I still really loved all those colours. So this one, because I particularly like this one, I wanted to do something really simple with it so that you could just purely enjoy the colour of the yarn. So Tiny Tassels is perfect because it's a massive garter, squishy garter triangular shawl. And the green, oh, you will see these are not tassels. The sharper eyed among you, the more quick-witted knitters will have noticed these are very far from being tassels. And I'll tell you why, because I've made the tiny tassels before, not the shawl. I've put the tassels on, you know, the Mini Mania shawl. Do I have that next to me? No, I don't. That's because that would have been useful. I did them and they came out nice, but it was a massive pain in the bum doing them. I don't really want to do it again. So I did think I'd just bite the bullet and do it. And then I found I was just procrastinating a lot and not doing it. So then I thought, well, what would be really cute would be tiny pom-poms. So I started making tiny pom-poms and I made several of them, and they were all disappointing. I just couldn't get it. I got one of those multi-pom things where you're supposed to be able to do loads of pom-poms in one go, and I thought that would be fantastic. I can kind of like make a batch load of tiny pom-poms, but I just couldn't. They just looked like tassels that had gone wrong. So I gave up on that idea, and then I thought, well, I'm just going to crochet little balls, and it actually makes the shawl sit really nicely because it's weighted. So I just did like a really, this yarn is from Giddy, and she was at Unravel at the same time, I think. I know I bought it from her at Unravel, whether it was that year or a year before, whatever, who knows or cares. But it's a really beautiful, lovely emerald green, and it's sparkly. It's got silver stellina in. I don't think you can see, but it has. You just have to take my word for it. Quite noticeable in real life. So, oh look, oh my gosh. Ah, it looks great, doesn't it? If I say so myself. Look at that. Sorry if that was a slightly sick-making camera move, but you know, the shawl's to be seen. Yeah, I'm really happy with that. Oh, look, isn't that lovely? And I'm going to make this again because I just think we buy this yarn because we really love the yarn, and then I'll do something really busy with it and then not like it because the dye is fighting with the texture, and then you lose both. But I absolutely love garter. These bobbles, if you want to do something similar, really simple. I mean, you don't even really have to be particularly any use at crocheting. I'm really not a skillful crocheter. I can do really basic stuff, and here it is, really basic stuff. I did the magic loop, then I crocheted 6 double crochets into that loop, and then on the next round I crocheted 2 double crochets into each. I'm using English terms, by the way. If you're American and you're finding this difficult, I apologise, but we need it. Yeah, then I did 2 stitches into each one stitch, so I had 12, a round of 12. Then I did 1 round just plain of 12 stitches, and then the next round I decreased by half again, so I just did 1 double crochet every other stitch. Then I stuck some stuffing in, and at first for like these ones I used the dead pom-poms that I wasn't able to use, that I loused up, and then more up here I've moved on to toy stuffing. They're squishy and they're very light, but all together it just gives it a nice weighted feel, and this one does not move around on my neck so much or get lost and, you know, bits flying away and stuff. Anyway, I wore this on Friday hoping to show for Hannah what I'd done, and every time, and unsurprisingly, every time I tried to get near her stall, it was, you know, it was 3 people deep, and her stuff's so lovely, her yarn's so gorgeous that I tried to kind of like hang around the outskirts, hoping I could catch her eye, but she, you know, she's busy selling stuff. So yeah, I never actually managed to show it to her, but I will take a picture of this and I'll pop it on my Instagram and tag her, and then she will see it. I will make her see it one way or another. She will see this shawl. But I'm really happy with it, and I think this is one of those patterns that I might keep like in the back of my mind all the time for those special skeins. You know, when you buy like a one skein of something amazing at a yarn show and then you never really know what to do with it. Well, I think this is the thing that we do. So, having said I'm not really going to show you things in my shop, I'm going to really quickly give you a little whiz of the Snoods I've made. Oh, except I haven't brought them up. I'm not going to bother then. Oh, so here it is. As always, I'm always making black Snoods. So that one's, but I only have a medium. When I'm recording this, I only have the medium and the large in stock, but I've just sold a small one, so I'm going to restock that one. So that'll be, there's usually one of each size of the black one in stock all the time. I've got 35 colours. If you want one and the size and colour you want isn't in stock, just drop me a line and I'll make one for you. It's no big deal, no extra charge or any of that nonsense. This is a custom order for someone who wants a black one. She wants one of these burgundy wine colour ones, which I really like that colour. I think of it as more of a like a, well, that's not actually showing up that well on screen, but it is more of a wine colour. It looks almost brown on screen. It's because the light's a little bit bad. I've left this to the wrong part of the day. It's the wrong day. My cat's freaked out because someone's moving in next door, and because someone's moving in next door there's a bit of banging about which you might hear. I can only apologise for. There's also another neighbour who's having a little bit of building work done. It's a great day. Yeah, so she wants a black one, this one, which is not rust, it's definitely a lovely burgundy colour, and she wants one of these pale pink ones, which is blowing out really badly. I can't get the right colour to show on that at all, but it is like a really soft, like a pastel pink, like I suppose back in the day you would have called it a baby pink. There, that's a bit better. You don't wear it like that. You wear it on your head. It's a hairnet. So when I've finished making this custom order and I've let that customer know that it's ready, I'm going to restock this pale pink. There'll be one of each in that colour in my shop, available to buy should you wish. And that is it for my Etsy shop talk. I haven't finished any project bags this week, or well, this month really. I've just been busy. I must do it though, because you know that sewing machine was not cheap. So let's go on to things I'm working on now. I was going to show you my unravel haul next, but then I thought no, follow the podcast law and do your whips next. Behave for once, Smith. This I showed you before. I keep this in my Yarn in the City yarn crawl bag. I miss the Yarn in the City yarn crawl. It's really good. This is my hardware jumper by Erika Knight. It's a great pattern. It's actually really easy, and despite being really easy and DKing, you should be able to knock the thing up in about 5 minutes flat. This is my 3rd attempt at this sleeve. It's not like it's the first time I've ever made a sleeve. I've made loads of sleeves, and this is a really simple pattern, and for some reason I just keep stuffing it up right, left and centre, day in, day out. So 3 times now I have made this sleeve, and this time sleeve, you are going to work. I think it's because, well, I've got a rough idea why it's been going wrong. That's knitting late at night with wine. Sometimes it has a small effect on my ability to keep track of row counts and increases. So that's my first sleeve. I mean, it's not that far from being done. There's another, see where these stitch markers are? That's another ladder, planned ladder that will appear there. So that's okay. That's not that far from being done, is it really? So yeah, hopefully I'll be wearing this fella before summer hits. I'm trying to concentrate on it and actually do it, but you know, like I said, I've got to fit it in around my my job, my Etsy shop and stuff, so don't get as much time to work on it as I want, but I'm pretty determined. This is my year of finishing whips. There's some storage space in my living room where I keep all my whips, and they are absolutely full, and I just don't like it. I've decided, I never used to bother me, and now suddenly I've decided I don't like that anymore, so I want to get some finished. At some point I'll go off that idea as well, but bear with me while I keep going. Oh yes, now my temperature scarf. This is good because it's the 1st of March. It's not May. It's the 1st of March, so I've got a complete month to show you. I'm making a temperature scarf because I don't have the time or the inclination to make a temperature blanket. Just too much commitment for me. So that was January, and this is February. February's not that different to January, is it? Temperature wise, I mean, a little bit warmer. The paler the colour, the colder it is. So proper cold snap here, and then the more green. The greens are that where it looks yellow, it isn't. It's actually that same cream. It's just it being next to the yellow brings out the yellowness of the cream. So yeah, it's been a little bit colder here recently, so we've gone back to some quite cold colours, but we had most of February was not too cold temperature wise. This is still, I don't think anything has got above 12 degrees. 11-12 degrees is about the highest that we've got, I think. So yeah, I'm really happy with that. It's going to be quite a long beast, isn't it, when it's done? So yeah, the grey is really for sort of those sort of greyish weather days, and don't have a lot of it left. So I'm hoping that March bucks its ideas up a bit. I have got, there's a local yarn shop where I buy the yarn for, so I'm using the Adriafil Mirage, this stuff. Adriafil Mirage in DK, and the grey one is colour 51, which is, I think it's called light mould grey, something like that. So yeah, we do get quite a lot of grey days. But summer's just around the corner, spring's pretty much here. So I can hopefully start on the next colour soon, which I think will be this really pretty yellow, which will be the sort of 15 degrees. Is that a bit ambitious? I don't know if we're going to hit 15 degrees in March, are we? Probably not. But yeah, I'm really enjoying it. I love that. It's based on the Zick Zack scarf. Just a really simple zigzag shape and I do the lowest temperature of the day and the highest temperature of the day, and I just write that down in my diary just randomly at whatever point I'm ready to do the knitting, because I find when I check the weather thing on my phone, it will, if you can do it in the morning, it will tell you what the high and low for the day is, and then you check it another hour or two later and it will have changed its mind about what the high and low for the day is. So it's not, well, it's not supposed to be a scientific record, is it? It's just for my amusement. But I'm really enjoying that, and I am finding time to do it every day. I'm not falling behind with anything, so like, I'm really chuffed with that. I'm really pleased with that, and I think I want to get a little label or something that I can sew onto it with, so I can sew 2023 onto it. But then I was thinking I might just use a bit of ribbon and write on it with a fabric marker pen, which would be easier, wouldn't it? I was thinking like buying a label, but I've got an absolute ton of ribbon here, and that's a complete waste of time and money, isn't it? Buying a label that says 2023 to sew on a scarf. Yeah, no, I'm just going to write on a bit of ribbon and whack that on at some point. So, I do every month, my library, the local library here, not Portsmouth Library, which is a separate little beast to Hampshire Libraries. Hampshire Libraries does a Zoom reading group, and last night was our Zoom get together, and we've been reading Where the Missing Gather and we were split pretty much 50-50 between those of us who liked it and those who were, well, I don't know, actually. No, it wasn't that much. It was like 80-20. So most people enjoyed the book. You did need to have had... It's Where the Missing Lie, I think, not Gather. Where the Missing Lie by Helen Sedgwick. Bizarrely, it was the second book in the series, and none of us had read the first book. Some people started reading the first book after they'd realised that we were reading the second in the series, and those people enjoyed it. I didn't. I just ploughed on and just thought I'll just have to cope, and I didn't really get into it. I didn't dislike it, but it was just a bit like watching a drama on TV that you're not that bothered about whether you will catch the end or not. So don't think I'd bother reading another of hers, but it was okay. Not bad, just okay. But in the Zoom group, I like to have a bit of knitting. This is my kind of whack it in your handbag, off you go knitting. These are a pair of socks for my partner Andy, and this yarn is... I bought this yarn when I went to a spa break in December to the New Forest, and I can't remember the name of it now. I want to say Bletchley, but that's totally not it. Doesn't really matter, does it? And I went to the town Lymington, and there's a little yarn shop there that was called Wool, and I bought this. It's a Rico Superba Twirl. It's a 4-ply superwash sock yarn, and it's this sort of grey gradient. And then I've realised that the only socks I ever make for Andy are grey socks, so I need to buy some yarn at some point. Well, actually, I know I've already got some. He did ask me ages ago. I asked him what colour socks he'd like, and he said brown, and then I've just continued to merrily go on making him grey socks. He's very good. He doesn't complain, but I need to get out of my rut of making him grey socks. He likes them though. He does wear them. I quite often sort of glance across and realise he's wearing them. Oh, blue socks as well, but they're blue with a grey barber pole. I tend to make him socks that have got a barber pole twist and have grey in them in some way or another. And I did actually buy the brown yarn to make him the socks that he actually asked for. I got it from... oh, what's the name of them? Oh, Welsh farmer. Really nice fella. Don't know his name. Oh, I've got a feeling it begins with a T. It's gone. Totally gone. I've got the yarn somewhere in my stash, and never actually made them. So that's on my list to do. But yeah, that's what I was knitting in the Zoom reading group last night, and I think I've got about another 2 inches on them, so that was pretty good. So yeah, I'm going to keep those as my sort of travelling about thing. Oh, and Saturday I've booked for I'm going to a book thing all day on Saturday that's being done by Portsmouth Libraries. It's a mystery fest. They have like a book festival month where they have all kinds of things going on, and I only found out about it at my book group last night. But the mystery festival is on Saturday, and it's the whole day, and they have like so many authors and things going on, and you just go there from 10 till 5, and there's tea and coffee and biscuits and stuff, and you break for lunch and just find somewhere locally to go out and have lunch yourself. And I think you can kind of dip in and out of it if you want, but it was like £12 for the whole day, and I thought that was pretty cool. And I haven't read any books by any of the authors that are going, but that means I'm there, I'm there with a credit card in hand, ripe for temptation. That can't be bad, can it? So yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. I like a sort of bookish weekend, and Andy seemed surprisingly keen for me to book it. So I was like, oh, because he quite often works weekends. So I was like, oh yeah, but it's all day Saturday, and you're off this Saturday. And he was like, oh, I'll drop you off. So he must have some sort of plans for sitting in front of the TV watching Formula 1 stuff. Although I don't think that's on until the evening, is it? He's going to be watching car programmes with the sound on as loud as he likes. which I was complaining about because I can't bear those shouty car programs. Why the shoutiness? It's just not called for. Right, the other thing is I'm trying to concentrate just on doing that jumper, and I don't want to be distracted by other little projects here and there, exactly like I am doing. So I went to Unravel, and I thought, I'm just going for the experience this time. I had a few little bits I wanted to buy. Like I wanted to buy some more earrings from Malika, a few little bits and bobs like that. I didn't want to do any other kind of yarn shopping so much. I just thought, you know, be open to temptation. But I also wanted to buy a sweater's quantity of yarn to make a jumper. Where's the book? The this one, the one that's on the cover of this book, which I think I picked up at the Works ages ago for a song. And I just like it. So the main body of the sweater I think is pretty plain. It's just got that really colourful yoke. Yeah, let me show you the back view of it. There. It's lovely, isn't it? So my main colour is going to be navy blue, and then I thought I'll just see if there's 50 gram balls of temptation in it. I didn't actually see anything, so I'm probably going to buy that yarn either from Seeded in Southsea or My Yarnery in Havant. I do need to go back to My Yarnery, which I was supposed to do this Saturday, and then I saw a book thing, because I need some more of that grey for my temperature scarf. I'm trying to only buy yarn in person to support, you know, local bricks and mortar shops, and that's the only place that sells that Adriafil nearby, and she's a really lovely woman who owns that. So yeah, I need to go back in there and buy some more of that. I think I'm going to run out of the green as well, so I need to buy a ball of that. And then I thought she could probably, because she's really helpful, she could probably help me find these sorts of colours. I mean, I don't need to go for particularly these sorts of colours, but I think there's 10 different colours in this yoke. So yeah, 10 different colours of something. So while I was busy walking around Unravel, resisting temptation right, left and centre, I've also been online resisting the temptation to cast on the Sophie Scarf for months, and I love it, and everyone's making it, but you know, I've got a massive queue on Ravelry of things that I haven't made that I really wanted to make at the time and just haven't. And I've even got patterns that I've printed off thinking, right, you are definitely the thing that I'm making next. So at Unravel, one of the stalls had printed copies of the Sophie Scarf for sale, so I bought it. I won't show you the inside because it shows you the pattern, but I mean the pattern couldn't be simpler. I mean, you could probably look at that and work it out. But I'm doing the only thing I'm doing slightly differently is the way that it's got an I-cord edge, and they do the I-cord edge the way that most people do it, with a just knit across and then slip the last three, and then, but I find that can make the edge pull a little bit, so I use the method that Helen Stewart uses of Curious Handmade, where on the first row you do, for the I-cord 3 stitches on each end, you do knit, slip, knit, and then the other end knit, slip, knit, and then when you're coming back you do slip, knit, slip, slip, and then knit across, slip, knit, slip at the other end, and then you don't get that thing of like you got your, on one side of the I-cord you're always like half a row behind, aren't you really, if you just slip stitches, or a row behind, so you don't get any pull. So yeah, I resisted casting it on for as long as I could, because I thought I won't cast it on because I want to show you that as part of my Unravel haul, so I won't, you know, take it away. And then, I don't know, temptation just got the better of me and I cast it on. And I've only done that much because I only do it when it's quite late at night and I can't really concentrate on anything else, because it's so super simple. And the yarn I'm using is from a dyer who no longer dyes, who was based in who was from Basingstoke, and I think she was called Once Upon a Time Skeins. And this is a super squishy, gorgeous thing that I used in my last Stephen Weston make along. The yeah, in this one. It's this that I've got in my twists and turns, and that's what I used for my twisty turny bits, like the best bit. And it's so super soft, this yarn, that I just thought that would make just the loveliest Sophie scarf. And I've got something like 34 grams of this, so just enough to make a Sophie scarf, and I can make it a little bit longer than normal. And I really like it. This is the sort of thing you can knit when you're watching something on TV and you need to concentrate on it, really, like a, you know, like a mystery thriller type thing, but you also want to do something with your hands. And because I've stuffed up that scarf, because I've stuffed up those sleeves so many times, I don't want to risk knitting on that when I'm watching something on telly. So this is my watching the telly project. Grab a little slip of my tea. I won't slurp because people grin when I do that, aren't they? Right, so let's get on to the actual Unravel purchases. I didn't go mad. I mean, for some people this will be mad, but I don't think this is going mad at all. I got, because I bought 2 pairs of earrings from Malika, I got a blooming tote bag. And it's really nice. Lord knows I don't need another tote bag, but here it is. So, what have I got in here? Let's just pull things out randomly. Oh, there's my program. Why am I keeping that? Don't know, don't need it. In here, because I've not opened this bag since I got home because I wanted to show you. So I thought I'll just keep it all in the bag, keep it all together and keep it lovely. Oh, Caroline Barnes ceramics. Oh, come on, light. Give me a break. I bought a little needle keeper thing, and this is like, you know, the old-fashioned Silco yarn sewing threads. That's like the top of a spool of thread, a vintage spool of thread. So then I can use that. There's like a magnet underneath, and you just pop one magnet under your work, and then that thing clips on the top, and then you can just pop your needle when you're not using it on there, and it stays stuck to it while you're working. Sorry about that crinkling. Oh, I love the Yarn Whisperer. The Yarn Whisperer is fantastic, and I thought, oh, well, you know, I bought a shawl cuff from him last time, and I'd intended to buy the acrylic stars stitch markers, which he had them on his stand before with the acrylic stars hanging off it. You can attach them to it. It's got quite a big D-ring bit on it, sort of D-ringy thing, and it looks so good. And then because I was chatting to him and not really concentrating, and I was, you know, being an idiot and showing off, I forgot to buy them. So then when I thought, well, he's there, so I'll buy them this time, and I got there and he doesn't have any in stock at the moment. So I thought to myself yet again, and then I thought, well, oh, I want to buy something from him because he's such a nice fella, and I love everything on their stall, but I really badly don't need any more yarn. But this one is called Sparkle Farts, so you can't not buy Sparkle Farts, can you? And look at it. Oh, it's so pretty. It's like this lilac-y pink. I hate lilac, but I really wanted it. It's sparkly and it's got lilac-y colours. It's pink and it's yellow, and it's like a fruit salad sweet or something. It's just something smashing about it, and it's really soft and gorgeous. It's a 75 superwash merino, 20% nylon, 5% stellina. I don't know what I'm going to do with it, but I'll enjoy it. Maybe I could make another tiny tassels with that. I don't know. I'm not sure about that colour on my face. Not too bad, is it? Not too bad. I don't know. Inspiration will strike me, no doubt, at some point. What's all this old gumph in here? Oh, yeah, I went to, there's this great shop in Farnham called Ruby La La. Oh my god, I love that shop so much. It used to be in the town that I used to live in, Fleet in Hampshire. And then she moved to bigger premises in Farnham, and now she's moved to even bigger premises and more prominent in Farnham. And she just, everything she has is just fantastic. And I really miss her a lot, but I hate buying clothes online. She's got a really good website, but I just don't want any, I just don't like it, buying things online, clothes online, because it just always goes wrong for me. This from Adriafil, I bought these needles, which I really don't need, but I wanted them, from the Deramores stand. These are Addy unicorns. They've got a nice pink cable. I was in a pretty pink mood, and the needles themselves are like twirled like a, like a unicorn torn, and apparently they're quite a similar experience to knitting with cubics, which I love. In fact, I'm knitting my hardware jumper on cubics. And yes, if there's anyone American watching, when you say sweater, I say jumper, and again we'll just have to agree to differ. That's a beautiful little stitch marker I bought from, the name escapes me. Might have been the Wall Kitchen. I can't remember. I really don't remember. But it's nice. It's literally a freshwater pearl. One of those like little real ring pearls. And I shouldn't buy that really, because I knew as I was buying it that I was being bad, because pearls are cruel, aren't they? And I'm vegetarian, and I really should not buy them. Oh, now this is the first pair of earrings I bought from Erika. Oh, these are amazing. You all have seen these. These are the little crocheted. So I only like earrings with posts. I don't like the shepherd's crook ones. These ones are silver with these other bright blue. Bright blue. There, that's better. Crystals. I'm pretty sure she uses Swarovski crystals as well. Because we use those when I work for Zandra Rhodes, and you can tell the quality of them is markedly different. And I'm pretty sure these are Swarovskis. Anyway, I've got a pair of these in a sort of like rose gold tone, with more like amber coloured beads, crystals, and I absolutely love them. I wear them a lot, and they just sit really nicely. So they only come down to about here. I don't like dangly earrings, so they're perfect. Really happy with those. Oh, and here's the second pair. Now, you'll have seen on her Instagram, she started making these earrings that she's calling, look at these little bags that are coming. It's really cute. And the box is up here as well. Just all looks really classy, doesn't it? She started making these earrings that she calls raindrop earrings, but they do normally come with the shepherd's crook thing. The hoop that goes through here, and I can't bear it. So I'd messaged her and said, like, I don't suppose you've got those on a post, have you? And she made me a pair. And I was like, she was, said, what kind of colour do you like? And I was like, well, basically anything but purple. Look at them. Oh, aren't they just beautiful? They're gold with these sort of like browny taupey colours. Oh, they're so nice. I can't wait for them. See, now I've shown them to you, I can wear them now. So I wanted to keep them nice in their box until I show them to you. And now they are free to be worn, and they will be worn a lot. But they're quite a nice length as well, because they're not like super, look. They're only going to hang to about there. Anyway, there was some sort of like weird misunderstanding when I was in that store, and I was chatting to her, and I said something about, like, I said to her, oh, thank you for doing them, because appreciate, like, when you're in the run up to a show, it's a really bad time for someone to ask you to make them something, because you're flat out making things. And I said, I've just got a bit of a weird thing about, I don't really like those hoop things. I said, and I don't know what, there was a lot of people around, it was quite busy, it was quite early in the day, so it was sort of like peak busyness, but there was some sort of misunderstanding where she looked at me, and I don't know what she thought I said, but she said, well, no, I suppose, yeah, when you're performing, the hooks could get caught on something. So I don't know what sort of performer she thought I was. I don't know if did I sound like I said I was a stripper? Because she did kind of like look at me a little bit like, not like side eye, but a little bit like, oh, kind of like it was something she'd be surprised at me doing. I don't know. I don't know, but I thought, as she said it, I thought, oh, should I correct her? And I thought, no, enjoy it. Oh, what are these? These are just random receipts and things. Why would I? What do I need a receipt for? Oh, you know, I said last time I'm definitely not buying a loom. I bought a loom. I bought a loom. And I sent a picture of the threshing barn had a stall. And I sent a picture to Andy and I said, this is too expensive, isn't it? I don't need to spend so much money. And he was like, well, first of all, I said to him, I shouldn't buy a loom, should I? And he straight away went, oh, treat yourself. How much are they? So I sent him a picture and he said, well, that is quite a lot of money. And I was like, oh no. And then he said, it's your birthday this month. If you want one, I'll transfer you the money. So now I have a loom, and I swore I wouldn't buy a loom. I really wanted one, but I swore I wouldn't buy one. And I've bought one, and it's my birthday towards the end of the month. So I've asked him to put it away and not set it up or anything until my actual birthday. And then I shall be a sloppy weaver. You know what it was? I saw, oh God, who were the Canadian guys? Les Garçons. Yeah, one of those guys was showing scarves that he'd woven, and they were so lush. And that's all I want to do. I don't want to make, like she was saying, like, you know, you can weave fabric to make your own clothes. I was quite tempted to get like an even bigger one, but then, you know, it's quite a big jump in money. And she said herself, if you buy this one, which, you know, it was £152. She said, if you buy this one and then find you don't like it, that's not as bad as spending £280 and finding you don't like it. She was right. But I think I will like it because, I mean, what's not to like? I bought you know, like I just said, the last thing I need is another tote bag. I bought a tote bag. The Unravel 15th anniversary bag, because it's got a really nice illustration. It's got like people, and they, you know, they're not all just white middle class women. And I loved it, so I bought that. And when I bought mine on Friday morning, bear in mind my timed entry was 11 o'clock and she only had about 10 left on her stall already, so I was glad that I managed to grab those quick smart. I don't need any more needles, so I bought another pair of needles. Again, these are 3.5mm. Those other ones, those unicorn ones I showed you, they're 3.5mm. What was I thinking? And these are Knit Pro Mindful collection. And these I bought from, oh, who are they? Oh, I've got that thing, haven't I? I could look it up, who it was. But that'd be really boring, wouldn't it? You'd have to wait for me to look them up. Oh, they're called something like the Knitting Barn or something. They do, you know, one of those people that does knitting for fun. Oh, you know, knitting for fun. They have 10 million types of knitting needles and accessories, and it was really busy. And it was so busy that their card reader couldn't cope at the time. With the Wi-Fi connection was a bit iffy at that moment, so those of us that had cash on us could just go, whoop, and they'd scan it, and then off we went. Who's that other person I couldn't remember the name of? I think it was the Wall Kitchen. I think it was. Anyway, it doesn't really matter. Doesn't really matter. Now, what else? Oh, I'll show you this, even though it's not relevant to anything. This is the top that I bought in Ruby Lala. Oh, it's so lovely. I haven't even tried it on. I have no idea whether it will fit. It's this lovely black shirt, and look at the sleeves. Oh, look, I'll look like Pinsent tailoring fella, hopefully, in these. Only with boobs. It's so nice, and it was on sale. I mean, you can't be happier than that, can you? It had been 30 quid, they reduced it to 15, and then I had loyalty points worth £3, so I got it for like £11 something, and it's now my favourite shirt, or it will be if I try it on and it fits and everything. I'll be very happy. If I try it on and it doesn't fit, I will still love looking at it, and then I will kid myself for several years that I'll lose enough weight to be able to wear it, and I will carry on like that until those big puff sleeves come back into fashion, or I die. Oh, Threshing Barn, that's who I bought my loom from. Well, Andy bought my loom from. He didn't know who was going to buy me a loom. He bought me a loom. Oh, is this the best till last? It's just the most satisfying thing, isn't it? Dragon Hill Studios and their fantastic self-striping yarn. This was their Unravel special, and I think they sold out of this by the Sunday. I'm pretty sure. I couldn't see because they did put some more things on Instagram, and I couldn't see this on the stand anymore. It's just called Unravel 15, and it's pink and yellow and grey and this sort of denim-y bluish grey. So lovely. I can't wait. There's just nothing more fun than knitting with self-striping yarn, and Dragon Hill Studios is my absolute all-time favourite. And then this one I bought for Andy because I thought it was brown with gold, and it's actually, guess what, it's grey. I showed it to him and he really loved it, so he's getting socks out of this one as well. It's lovely though, isn't it? It's really lovely, and I love that they do this thing of winding the yarn around the cake. I mean, I love that they cake the yarn up for you. Oh, that's just so good, and it's really solid. It's not, there's a ton of yarn in their cakes. They're quite generous, but I love this thing that they do, that they wind the yarn so you can see what the stripe sequence will be like when you knit with it. I just think that's just such a nice idea. It's such a simple idea, but it's just so perfect. And I got those. Super happy with those. Oh, I'll show you this as well. Oh, did I another? There's a card from Erika and a card from the Yarn Whisperer. And that's it. And then I found another shop in Farnham that I think was called Angels, something like that. A little independent boutique-y type place, quite she and lovely. They had these lovely summery necklaces hanging up outside, and I thought, shall I go for the one that's really I like sort of peacock green, turquoise. I wear a lot of black and navy and dark colours, and then I like my accessories to be like turquoise, blues, greens, that kind of thing. And then I thought, no, let's not be sensible. Oh, look at that. It's amazing. This is called the Paris necklace, and it's basically, Andy said it made him think of those sweet necklaces you used to get as a kid. It's fantastic, isn't it? And it's even brighter. It's proper neon. It's brighter in person than it is on the screen. And I just thought that is just going to look fantastic. Would you wear anything dark with that? It's not going to look great with this mint green top shawl. I just thought that's just gonna, you can't have a bad day wearing that. And it's got all these different dingle dangles off it. There's like little, it's like almost like little charms. There's a shell there. There's like little stars and doodads and tiny tassels and bigger tassels, and I just love it. It's not a sensible choice. And then I bought this one too. This is, look, a very sparkly starfish. Oh, it's just so lovely. And that is it for my Unravel purchases. All I've got left to tell you now is what I'm reading. I'm reading on audio the Agatha Raisin, the Day the Floods Came, one of the MC Beaton Agatha Raisin series of books. I really like those. They're really good fun, just like a little romp. I'm really enjoying that one. And I'm also reading J.S. for Judgment, one of the Sue Grafton alphabet Kinsey Malone series of books, and I love those too. So I've gone very crime writerish lately, so I don't want to read too much more crime after this. Podcast, I've really only been listening to The Archers. with the sad death of Jennifer, and I'm just disgusted with Brian all the time anyway, because I think Brian is a pig. But like, does he not, will he never ever take responsibility for how badly he treats people? I know it's not real. And the other thing I wanted to show you was my little task book, and I don't know, did I bring it up? I can't see it now. Oh, maybe I won't share that with you. I'll show you another time. It's like a little journal thing I do. It's not a journal, it's oh, there it is. It's very scrappy looking. I do this thing. I haven't started doing March ones today because it's March. But I do think I write down the numbers from 1 to 60 along the edge, and then next to that I write things I've got to do. So it could be anything like okay, so when I finish doing something, like if I finish knitting a certain amount of rows, or the podcast I've been watching is finished, I see what the time is, and like now it's 16:42. So at 16:42 I go to number 42 and I find what I'm supposed to do next. So under number 42 is bins. So really, yeah, I need to empty the kitchen bin. So I'll go and empty the kitchen bin next. So that gives me like a little prompt to do like houseworky things, because, you know, boring. But it also has things on there that are just like prompts for nice things. Like under 42 I go like literally, there's like 4 different prompts on there. So I could have done the bins, I could do some sewing. My kitchen clock doesn't give good time, so I've got a kitchen clock which reminds me to reset the kitchen clock. And then I've got that everyday nature book, so that means go and read today's entry for it. But the first thing on there is bins, and I do need to do the bins, so I'm going to go and do that next. So yeah, it just gives me a little prompt. So I'm fast running out of storage space on my tablet now. Yeah, that was all it had to say really. I've got this little task book, and it prompts me to do things, and it kind of keeps me in line. But I also add in treat things, like craft things, to once I've finished doing things like mopping the kitchen floor or what have you. I don't, if that number comes up again that day, I don't need to do that twice obviously, so then I go on to the next thing, which will be a treat thing that I do. That I think is it from me. I mean, this has been quite a lot for me, hasn't it? I hope you've enjoyed it. If you have, can you do the old thumbs up thing, leave a comment, that kind of stuff. I'd really appreciate it, and I hope to see you again soon. Bye bye.